Hello and welcome to Vlogmas part number 3. Yay! Okay, so today is, the sky is blue-grey as opposed to brown-yellow, so that's an improvement, but actually the fires aren't out. There's huge fires on all sides of Sydney except for the ocean, and there's no way they're out, they're giant. So the wind is just blowing the smoke over a different part of Sydney today. Anyhow, on to the knitting. Today I'd like to talk to you about the sort of knitting I do when I'm travelling about, because I actually spend quite a bit of time waiting for people, my children mainly, and I don't always have mobile data reception, and I don't always want to be sitting there on my phone, so I knit. And the type of projects I like for that time period is a slightly more complicated projects, but that only need one ball of wool. So the first project I'd like to talk to you about is this one, which is actually finished. The design is called Alleumner by Ysolda again. Yes, she's one of my favorites. This is the smaller version. You can have a big version that wraps around twice, or this is a single wrap version. And it's actually a lot taller than I usually have, and a lot narrower. But I have checked, it does go over my nose, so that's good. As you can see, it's got a very interesting, so this is all Guernsey, organzy style knits and pearls. So it involves a lot of counting actually. And yeah, you don't really get to a stage when you're on autopilot, but that's what I want, because I want to be thinking about something while I'm waiting. You'll probably notice one of my favorite colors to wear is green. So I got this. It's extremely stretchy. Like, yes, okay, knitting is stretchy, but this wool really is very stretchy. It's Wasabi. It's the colour name, and it's by Quince & Co, and it's their chickadee. So that's what it looks like, and it's almost exactly 2 balls worth. Oh, that's an ibis if you can hear it. So you do a Channel Islands cast on, yes, not entirely perfect, which was interesting. But then the pattern doesn't say to do a matching cast off. So I looked around the internet until I found something that was a reasonably matching cast off. This is a little bit shorter because I was running out of wool and I wasn't sure how much wool the cast off would be taking up if it was going to be a bit more complicated. I actually think the cast off is slightly neater than the cast on, but I can see this wool is probably going to look a little bit worn after a while. So it might be because I was rubbing the wool so much doing an unfamiliar cast on process that it looks a little less neat. But anyhow, I'm very pleased with it. And I really like cowls because I can wear them a lot. I can wear them basically from March through to September without looking silly and without overheating. And they're a lot of fun to make, just going round and round. So I think probably cowls is what I've made most of, and it's also what I wear most, so that's quite useful. So this is what I'm currently working on. It's called Xuxa by Anna Sudo, and it's actually a slip stitch pattern, and you work one color at a time, just in case you don't know or can't interpret. It kind of looks like brioche, but it's not. But it's really cool pattern. It does take quite a bit of thinking on one of the rows. It's a 2-row alternating pattern. No, every second row is much simpler. It's not really an alternating pattern now I come to think about it. Which has been really good. Also, while I was waiting for something I was a bit worried about, that was really, really good, and my worries were unfounded, which is also excellent. So I really like this. It's about halfway now, and I decided that I'll just continue knitting it because this is how much yarn I still have left. It's lots. So I think I can maybe knit it extra long. As you can see, it's quite wide, so I can just scrunch down and that'll be fine. In a very rare move, I'm actually knitting it in the correct yarn, which is a surprise. I've looked, I think I've got over 90 projects on Ravelry, and I think a handful are actually knit in the yarn that was called for, because I usually don't have access to the yarn in Australia. But this time I did, and it's very cool. Looking at it, you can't really tell it's not the same as the Icelandic wool, but it is very soft. It is merino and probably very felty, but kind of in a different way than the Icelandic wool might be felty. Can't quite describe it, but you might know what I mean. Any rate, I hope this continues for quite some time because I'm really enjoying it. And that's the end of my Vlogmas for today. Oh, and again, I'm going to introduce myself at the end. My name is Ginevra. This channel is Ginevra Makes, and if you like it, please subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.